You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Look at that. The mic wasn't even in front of my face yet. Walk it off, Miami. Walk it off, Miami. And we will get the headline up there in a minute. Man, I might have jumped the gun a little bit getting on the air here. I was so excited. What is up, Miami? Welcome to your Locked On Marlins postcast. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. And I just realized I started the show without the rundown up there. I got so excited. You know what? We can finish the rundown together. How about Marlins win? How about that? I don't even have the thumbnail up on YouTube. Marlins win. We'll change this later. How about that? We will change this later. Marlins walk it off. How about that? Marlins walk it off. Beat Mets in 10. And you just knew it was going to have to happen that way, right? You knew it was going to have to happen that way. The way that they came back in this game. I'm trying to do two things at once, and it is not working out in my benefit or to my benefit, or however we want to say. Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10, and we will just do that. How about that? Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10, and that will be our background. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. I know you guys, I'm excited. I think I jumped the gun just a smidge in putting this up to get the show going for you, man. And that's the one thing that I literally just forgot real quick was this thing, but we are going to throw it up there. Right now we're on the fly, we're live, and I think you guys can appreciate this. And we're developing a bit of an audience here on the show, and the audience is very excited when we do things day in and day out that just add to the show. So we're going to add the background right here, add files, and you guys can see me do this in real time. You get a little bit of TV/radio/live stream 101 right here. It's uploading right now, and in just a second, it will be up on the screen. If you can believe the technical wizardry that you are witnessing right now on your Locked On Marlins postcast, it is ready to go. We hit show, and look at that. Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10. We just did that together, you and me. See how that works? My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. And how about that for the Marlins, man, to walk this game off? This team has won 5 out of 6 now. I guess you kind of say when you're hot, right? And we are just going to leave this exactly the way it is. We love doing the artwork on the thumbnail too for YouTube, and we're going to throw that up there as we continue here with your Locked On Marlins postcast. What a game. Let's get into this game, because what a game it was. And the Marlins really had no business winning this game. All right, if you think about what they did, they scored 3 runs in the 7th inning. They scored 4 runs in the 9th inning, and they scored a run in the 10th inning to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. How about that? All right, we have the Miami Marlins, and what a job they did, right? So let's get a little recap for you here. You know what I'm saying? We'll get more going for you throughout the show when it comes to the artwork and all that. As long as we got that rundown behind me, we are good. Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10, and the final score is 10-9. So how did we get there? The Mets jumped on Braxton Garrett early. They scored 2 runs on Braxton in the top of the first. The Marlins chipping away, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. And let's just give you that little recap there in a minute. First things first, Papa freaks all the honeys. But the 9th inning was unbelievable in and of itself. The 7th inning, the Marlins scored 3 to make it even closer. And, you know, you're thinking about it was 7-5 going into the 9th inning. And you figured, okay, the Marlins did a pretty good job in the bottom of the 8th. They had a couple of things going. And then in the bottom of the 7th, rather. And then in the 9th inning, things got a little bit crazy. The 9th inning is when things got a little bit crazy, and we'll take you through that right now. And I'm going to stop trying to do 2 things at once because it isn't working out in my favor the way that it should. Yeah, Braxton Garrett gave up a couple of runs in the first inning, and, Martinez singled in Lindor, and then Vientos singled in Nimmo. And the Marlins and the Mets went scoreless in the bottom of the first and the top of the second. Gordon doubles in Sanchez in the 2nd inning, makes it 2-1 Mets. And then Chisholm Jr., who had a big game, homers to center, 400-plus feet. The Marlins have been having some guys sitting dead red and hit some big home runs at home. Then the Mets in the top of the 4th, they get an RBI ground out from Lindor. And in the 5th, the Mets really started getting things going against Miami. Harrison Bader singles a couple of guys in, right? And then McNeil singles a couple of guys in. Bader and McNeil with a couple of RBIs each for the Mets. And it was just one of those days for the Marlins where you didn't think they were going to win this game. Every time they got close, the Mets would just make that gap a little bit more. So it's 7-2, top of the 6th inning, okay? Bottom of the 6th comes along. You get, Bell with the one-out single. Nothing going there. Still 7-2. Top of the 7th, the Mets go quietly. Still 7-2. Bottom of the 7th, this is a really key inning for the Miami Marlins. And really appreciate you being with me here. Your Locked On Marlins postcast. Locked On Sports Miami, and wherever you listen to your podcast. And that would be Spotify, that would be Apple Music, that would be iHeart, you name it, right? So bottom of the 7th for the Marlins, Gordon walks, Lopez doubles, Gordon scores. It's 7-3, right? And you're thinking, all right, here come the Marlins. You get a little bit of a chance here. Anytime you can get the tying run to the plate, get that extra base runner. Well, that's what kind of happened there, right? Lopez doubles, Gordon scores, and then Lopez goes to third on a ground out by Brujan to the pitcher. Fortes strikes out after the big game he had yesterday. De La Cruz or Chisholm singles, Lopez scores, and then you have De La Cruz singles to right, Chisholm goes to third. Then Bell singles to right, Chisholm Jr. scores, and then DLC goes to third. It's 7-5, and you're thinking, man, oh man, 7-5. You've chipped away. They had the tying run on base, and you're thinking, okay, bottom of the 9th is going to be interesting now, right? Because you've chipped away and you got it to within a couple. All we have to do, Fauché, is hold them. It wasn't to be. Martinez doubles to left after he scores Nimmo. Nimmo and Martinez back-to-back doubles to start the night for the Mets, okay? Taylor runs for Martinez. Fauché strikes out Vientos. Then Marte doubles to right. He had a big game, Marte did. Taylor scores, and then Nardi comes in, shuts the door, but by then it's 9-5, right? It's 7-5. You're thinking, like, couple runs, okay. Then they score 2, it's 9-5, and you're thinking, all right, this one's over. Put the women and children to bed. But then comes the bottom of the 9th in Major League Baseball, right? A ground rule double for Brujan to get the inning started, right? Rivera pops out to second. Brujan's not going anywhere. Then Chisholm Jr. singles to right. Brujan scores. Chisholm with a wonderful job today in that leadoff spot. Also playing sparkling, spectacular defense in center field. De La Cruz reaches on an infield single to third, and and Tommy Hutton had just said it on the telecast. He said, "Oh, the Marlins just need one more base runner. They just need one more base runner." They got that extra base runner in DLC on the infield single, and then the man comes to the plate who's had a tough year. The man comes to the plate who's been traded in each of the last 2 years. The switch hitter with power, the enigma. When is Josh Bell going to step it up and hit like a number 3 hitter for a contending team? Today is when. 3 hits in his last 3 at-bats, including dead red, 430 feet to center field. Chisholm Jr., DLC, come plateward in front of Bell, and all of a sudden, baby, it's 9-9. Tanner Scott comes in. You knew the Mets were not going to have anything going in that inning. You had absolutely, definitely every idea in the world that it was never going to happen. Why? Because Gordon lines out to center. Bethancourt started the inning at second. You know the rules, right? He goes to third, and then Lopez singles to center. Bethancourt scores. And how about that? Lopez with the hit, singling to center. And that was the big one in the inning for the Miami Marlins. But, one of those games where they fell behind early, and they would chip, and then they tie it, and then the Mets would break it open, and then they'd chip. And then they'd chip again, and then they'd chip again. And in the 7th inning, you'd score those 3. You'd make it 7-5, and you're chipping. And then you're wondering, when are we going to catch them? And then the Mets get those 2 in the 9th. And most people, myself included, are thinking, nah, it's not going to happen today for the Marlins, But you love the fight in this team. They never stop scratching. They never stop clawing. They never stop, ladies and gentlemen. They never stop. Look, this is just live streaming right here at its finest. And I didn't even put the picture of the thumbnail or anything behind me on the screen today. This is how excited I was at the end of this game. It did not even happen. Can you guys believe this? Man, oh man, I was in such a hurry to get this show on the air. I just realized I don't have the thumbnail behind me on the TV. Oh, baby. Sometimes you just get excited, man. You're in the throes of the reaction. It's live. And oh, man. It's a lot of fun, but it can be a harrowing experience. How about I take a break here and I get myself composed a little more, maybe even try to get a couple of the not the deliverables, the I can't even think off the top of my head, the production up onto the screen. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. The Marlins walk it off 10-9 in extra innings in the 10th inning over the New York Mets, and it was a big finish in Miami for the Marlins, and they really needed that to walk it off the way that they did. And it ended up being Lopez to do it, which is crazy, right? And we will get you a little bit more caught up, get you reset with what happened in this game, and walk you through it one more time. Keep yourself composed, catch your breath, Miami, and we will keep it going. It's your Locked On Marlins postcast, Locked On Sports Miami. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Oh, and I want to tell you about my friends at Supply House. And of course, it goes without saying, want to thank you for making your Locked On Marlins postcast your first listen every day, free, available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And I will tell you what this means right now to me. The reason that it's free every single day is because of our great sponsors and what they do for us. In turn, gives you what they do for you. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Skilled trades, guys like me who can sit here and talk, chew gum at the same time. Just kidding. When I talk about the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com is the site that's made for the skilled trades. Guys, you know this. We talk about it all the time. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order HVAC, to order the electrical products that you need online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. You could shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. And that is unbelievable. You need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. And talk to a real person every time. That's a big one for me. Real people. Hey, let's do that. Customer service pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com. That's supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their membership. It's free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM, supplyhouse.com/TM, and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. You are watching your Locked On Marlins postcast with me, Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Got to love the live stream going on here. Everything in real time. And we're happy to say that today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit fanduel.com/lockedon to get started today. And what a win for the Miami Marlins. And we got to have more pictures up. There we go. They got a couple more up on Imagine. It's been slow lately trying to get things done with the Miami Marlins postcast, and we are excited. Locked On Marlins. Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10. That's all you need, right? That's all you need behind you. It's very simple. Who's there with me today? Pumped to have you with me. We had Mr. Baseball in here yesterday doing a great job. We love having the audience participation, interaction with the show. The blank screen behind me means it's yours to name, right? I guess. It's so funny how you're in real time. You want to get on the air right away with the live stream. And there's still not a thumbnail picture up that I can put because all there are is Braxton Garrett. And he got ripped a little bit today. It was not the best start for the Marlins pitcher. And they had 4 starts in a row without an earned run allowed by a starting pitcher, and that was snapped today. Their bullpen had been killing it, ERA under 2.5 the last few games. That went out the window. But the Marlins, man, there's just something about this. If this team can get hot, and I don't want to get crazy here, but if this team can get hot, down the stretch and find a way to make the playoffs. And if not make the playoffs, at least just kind of make some noise, cause a little damage, and kind of be a thorn in the side of some of these teams that are bound for the playoffs. Because look, they were looking decent, right? They sweep the Nationals. You go on the road and you hit the A's and the Dodgers. You win 1 out of 3 in Oakland. You get swept in LA. Come back for the Phillies. You win the 3rd game of that series, but you lost the first 2. Go to Detroit, lose the first one, and you literally you come back and you win the first 2 games against the Mets in this series. So you've won 4 in a row. You've won 5 out of 6. And it was Otto Lopez today who got the job done. And I'm just waiting for this picture to come up so we can finish this thumbnail and get it up for you. And that will live on forever, I should say. You're Locked On Marlins postcast. And, let's do this while we're kind of catching up and catching our breath here. And I mean, it really was just kind of one of those harrowing games where you're just on the edge of your seat all night long. And, it had something about it. They scored their 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. And, that was when I'm thinking, okay, the Marlins are really going to get this. They have a chance to win this game. And you're looking, Gordon walks, and then, Lopez doubles to left and Gordon scores. And that was a big thing because Lopez is the guy who walked it off. So Lopez in the 7th, Lopez in the 10th, right? And it was Gordon who got knocked in by Lopez. And then Brujan grounds out to the pitcher. Lopez goes to 3rd. Fortes strikes out looking. And you're thinking, okay, you know what I mean? It's 7-3. Just need something here. Let's get something going, right? And then Jazz Chisholm Jr., who just have a feeling about this kid. He's a good player. Very, very solid. Very solid as Jazz Chisholm Jr. He singles to right. Lopez scores. And then, De La Cruz singles to right. Chisholm goes to 3rd. So it's 1st and 3rd. And then Bell singles to right. De La Cruz goes to 3rd. And you're thinking, let's just get him home from 3rd right now. Sanchez flies out deep to left. Just got under it a little bit. Because right when he hit it, I'm just going, man, did he get enough of that? Just at the very first blink of an eye. No, he didn't get enough. So anyway, it's a fly out. And you go, okay, it's 7-5. You know what I mean? But every time the Marlins chipped away in this game, the Mets would just jump back out. And so this is the 9th inning, and you're thinking to yourself, Maldonado comes in. Maldonado's been very good lately, along with Nardi and some of these other short relievers. Well, Maldonado comes in, and in the 8th inning, he gets the Mets 1-2-3. No problem there. 7-5, bang, right? And after the Marlins had scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the 7th, it's Maldonado in the 8th, right? And then it's Fauché that comes in the 9th. And when Fauché came into the game, Nimmo greets him with a double. Martinez doubles right after that. Martinez was great today. Nimmo scored on that. It's 8-5. And then Vientos, he strikes him out. And then Marte doubles to right, and Taylor scores. And even after Martinez doubled in Nimmo, I'm just going, okay, still it's 8-5, and any chance you can, you know what I mean? Whenever it's within 3 or less. But then they got that extra run to make it 9-5. And I got to admit, even I thought at that time that it was not looking good for the Miami Marlins. And we are going fast in real time here, but it wasn't looking good for the Marlins at that point. See if they got the picture up for the thumbnail. Hey, it's about that time. It's the magic of production. We can do this live right on the spot. This is the perfect thumbnail. So we're going to take it. We're going to make, you're going to love this picture I'm going to show you in just a second. It's just a second. You're going to love this thumbnail, and it's going to be worth the wait. You're going to love this. I'm going to just give this to you right now because that's what we do here on the show. We are givers, and we hope you enjoy that because, hey, that's the way we should be, right? Should be enjoying days like today and, looking at this with Otto Lopez. You'll see. This is beautiful right here. This is beautiful position. We send this to back. And boom, boom, boom. Walk off in the MIA. How about that? Walk off in the MIA. And bang. And remember, we had another one made. This is the beauty of live, right? We had another one made, and the headline was something about the Marlins winning streak being over, and every time they got close, the Mets pulled away and all that jazz. So that's what we did. Did I just drop a line from that song? Anyway, you never know what's going to happen when you're live. And after the show, I'm going to my daughter's birthday party. Shout out to my daughter, Jaden Grieshaber. My girl is turning 17, and the birthday party is today. Okay, so here we go, guys. We're just going to throw this up here for you real quick. And we do it in real time right here. You're Locked On Marlins postcast. So we take the download, and you're going to love this little picture that I got here. And this is really awesome. Awesome, awesome. And this is how the Marlins were able to come back and win this game. So then real quick, look at this. One-man show. Bang. Right here. Take this. Turn around. Right on here. I can see the termination letter now. Grease, we're not paying you to do a tutorial on how to put up a picture on a TV. But alas, it is a helpful life skill nonetheless, is it not? I think it actually is. When I'm about to show you this, look at this right here. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, Miami? I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you are ready, but you better be ready because it's coming. Bang. Right there. How about that? There he is, the man right there. The man of the hour, walking it off in the MIA. And what a night it was. What a tremendous job he did. And I mean, and we're walking through, right? There we go. Look at that. Walk off in the MIA. Look, we just made that together. You and me, see, this is something that we did. What other show is going to give you that? What other show is going to give you the ability and the opportunity to do this in real time together? We're even getting the lights right at some point. If you could actually see me, I'm bathed in lights right now. I feel like I'm literally just like 100 cop cars surrounding me. Hands on your head. It was one of those things. So anyway, look at that in the MIA. And it was a very, very beautiful thing to see what happened. And it was a 2-for-5 night for Otto, right? And his last two hits were the ones that, were obviously the most important one because Otto in the 7th inning had a big hit that drove in a run. Doubling in Gordon with that first one to make it 7-3. And then in the 10th inning, and I had to throw this picture up behind you. And that's the thumbnail that you're going to see on the YouTube. And it's all going to be right there. So that's what we need to do around here. You know what I'm saying? We need to make sure that you guys are getting every single thing that you deserve from us right here. Every single thing. We just updated that YouTube thumbnail as well. So Otto Lopez with the walk-off in the 9th inning. Did they get the recap up yet? I want to see. Let's go. We've been so far ahead of these guys. Let me see. The Gamecast is here. Still no recap up. Marlins and Mets. But it was Otto Lopez, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful play to walk it off for the Marlins. And that comeback, I mean, to score all those runs, you're talking about how many runs? We're talking about 3 runs in the 7th, 4 runs in the 9th, and 1 in the 10th, right? Imagine that's absurd. You get 8 runs. You win 10-9. You get 8 runs from the 7th inning on. And the Mets were cruising, man. The Mets were looking really good today. You had Severino go 6 2/3, and he ended up giving up 5 earned runs. But in that 7th inning is when they got to him. And the Marlins ended up scoring 3 in that 7th, but he had been fine before then. You were cruising, you know what I mean? Marte and McNeil at the bottom of that lineup. And, Nimmo ends up being the guy late, but back-to-back doubles. How do the Marlins, I mean, they scored 8 yesterday. They scored 10 today. The Mets bullpen has been atrociously awful. Actually, really bad. And I am a little bit late to a break. We're going to take our second break here. It's Locked On Marlins postcast. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. 10-9 in the MIA. The Marlins walk it off. And oh man, what a night it is in Miami. And you got to love those walk-off wins. Otto Lopez, walk it off. When we come back, or when I come back from this little break, we're going to wrap it up, finish it off from today's show. And look, Marlins walk it off versus Mets in 10 in Miami, and you got the beautiful, look at that. Isn't that just awesome with the is that even Gatorade? I think it's the ice bath or whatever it is, but it's just awesome. We'll wrap it up right after this little break. It's your Locked On Marlins postcast with me, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. You know what time it is, and you know that I love to talk about my friends at FanDuel every single day. I look forward to this part of the show so I can spread the knowledge and give you the wisdom and let you know and remind you if you already know. But if you don't know, now you know, you know, you know. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. How about that? $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right, $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. And you can do that as a new customer. Get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And you don't get to number 1 without that hard work, that determination, relentless drive, hustle, fire. I mean, look at these guys that just these Major League Baseball players, day in and day out, just grinding. How hard do you think it is to show up at that ballpark every day when you're 13 and 32? I mean, come on. They show up every day and they give you every single thing they have. That's why we need to do it here for them. And I appreciate you being here with me with your Locked On Marlins postcast, one of the many shows here on Locked On as your team every single day. Your Locked On teams, your Locked On leagues, and now you are Locked On Sports Today. That's right. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available with the free Fire TV channels app. We are about wrapping it up with our Locked On Marlins postcast. My name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. We got the thumbnail up. We got everything rocking with the YouTube page. And we're going to finish up that headline when we wrap things up. But the Marlins are just, it's one of those times right now where you just got to enjoy it as a fan. I mean, you've been kicked in the teeth enough times this season. You're 15 and 32 now, 8 and 17 at home. I mean, and you just kind of look at what the Marlins have had to do just to get to this point, which is absolutely absurd. And you think about all the injuries to, and Luzardo, their opening day starter, was out for a long time. Braxton Garrett, who pitched today, didn't even make his first start till his last time out. You've had Alcantara, who's out for the year. So many, and Sanchez, or Cabrera on the DL now, on the IL now. You have so many pitchers who have missed time. Berger was on the IL for a period and still leading the team in RBIs for a week while he was out. But, you endured the start to the season, which was horrendous, right? I mean, you were 0-9 to start the season, and it almost can't get any worse than that. But then you had the huge losing streak. You know what I mean? You lost 6 in a row, and then it just, tough cookies for the Marlins. And then you lost 5 in a row at one point. But lately it's been turning around on the heels of that 5-game losing streak. Look, you sweep the Rockies at home. You go on the road and you lose 2 out of 3 to Oakland. You win that 3rd game in Oakland. Last time you ever have to go there, thank God. Then you go to LA and you're playing that juggernaut, that payroll and deferred payments till their grandchildren are the only ones that are going to be there to cash the checks. And then you come back home and you play Philly and you give up 16 runs the first 2 games. And, you got that big payroll team and those huge Phillies coming in, right? Well, you win the 3rd game of that series. It was a final in 10 innings. You come back, win that game. Then you go to Detroit, you lose 6-5. Not a bad start to that series, but you win, that 1-0 game in the bottom of the 10th inning when Weathers came out and gave you a great start. You win the next game 2-0. You win yesterday against the Mets with Luzardo. So Weathers and Rogers and Luzardo back-to-back had given you great starts. And look, Braxton wasn't too bad today. We're just about ready to wrap this up, but Braxton was not too bad today. He didn't have a great game. 4 1/3 innings, the 6 earned runs, but he wasn't terrible. He just needs to learn how to make pitches in certain spots to get himself out of jams and keep himself out of trouble. Meanwhile, for the Marlins today, if you're looking for 3 things at the end of the show, really good signs, right? Their bullpen battle. That was something that, earlier in this game you had, Fauché had a tough outing, and Cronin gave up the run. But Maldonado, 2 scoreless innings to hold it down in between Cronin and Fauché. and then Nardi and Scott with an inning and a third after that. So nice job by the bullpen. Again, you had a very, very solid game for Jazz Chisholm Jr. Great defense in center field. Average coming up to 260. He was 3 for 5 today with 3 runs scored, including a home run. Was instrumental in the late rally in the game, and that's something really important for him as the leadoff guy. Nick Gordon, 2 for 4 with an RBI in this game. Otto Lopez walked it off. He had 2 RBIs and 2 hits as well. And Chisholm and really Chisholm and Bell. Josh Bell comes along, man. Average all the way up to 229, but Bell 3 for 5, 4 driven in, including that home run. His last 3 hits, his last 3 trips to the plate, he had hits in this game, and not just hits. He lined it up and he smoked the ball. So the 3 things that you're taking away from this one: the bullpen turned it around and looked really good again. Maybe an elite closer in the making in Tanner Scott. Then you had Chisholm and Bell, 2 guys who are really stepping it up and bringing those averages up. And then Otto Lopez with the hit in the 7th that drove in a run and then walking it off. So a great job by the Marlins. They win this game 10-9 in the 10th inning. Walk it off. Now West Side, walk it off. Now East Side, walk it off. And let me stop this now because I'm embarrassing myself. And we are walking off. And yeah, all right. Anyway, the Marlins win 10-9 in 10 innings. It's Fiesta in the MIA, baby. In the MIA. 10-9. They score 8 runs from the 7th inning on. This is what you call a win when you are playing with house money. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. The series wraps itself up tomorrow. The last game against the Mets before the Brewers come in. I believe it's a 4:40 first pitch Eastern time tomorrow. You might want to double check that one. I'm sorry. No, wait, it's the early one tomorrow. So that one is a 1:40 first pitch. I believe 1:40 first pitch tomorrow. Why don't you just look, Jim? It would be so much easier if you would just look and let the people know what is really going on. Okay, so where are we at here? Schedule. And you got that? Yeah, it's 1:40 p.m. tomorrow. And I promise you, I'll be okay. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Marlins fans. We are out.